Jai Baba, chapter 93. Once there was this man who did not approve of idol worship. He worshipped the formless energy of the Creator. Having heard so much about Sai Baba of Shirdi, out of sheer curiosity, he decided to go to Shirdi and meet our Sai personally. Kaka Mahajani was known to this gentleman. They were friends. Kaka, I will come to Shirdi and meet Sai, but I shall not bow down to him as I only bow down to the formless energy of our Creator. I do not believe in idols or godmen. Also, please don't expect me to give any dakshina or any offerings. I am making this clear to you. Poor Kaka, he was a simple man who loved Baba dearly. He smiled and both the men left for Shirdi on a Saturday night. The following morning, they were in the holy pilgrim town of Shirdi. They washed up and immediately left for Masjid-i. There were already a lot of people seated in the courtyard, and the moment the two men climbed the steps of the mosque, Baba looked at them and in a most polite manner inquired of the stranger, "My dear, why have you come here?" The friend halted. He recognized the tone in Sai's voice. The tone and the way the words were said immediately reminded the man of his father. His father would speak exactly like this. In fact, Baba had mimicked his father perfectly. The man was overwhelmed. Without intending to, the newcomer prostrated at Baba's feet. Kaka was shocked. All through the journey, his friend had made it very clear that he would not even bow down to Sai. And here he was on the floor, horizontal, his head seeking Baba's blessings. Baba blessed both the men and looked at Kaka and asked for dakshina. Kaka gave Baba what was asked for, and Baba again asked Kaka for more dakshina. Kaka happily made another offering. The friend felt saddened. Why hadn't Baba asked him for any offering? He looked at Kaka and whispered, "Why has Baba ignored me where dakshina is concerned? He has asked it of you twice. Why has he left me out?" Kaka looked at him in amazement. He wondered what had gotten into his friend. Baba looked at the man. "Kaka, what is this friend of yours telling you?" "Baba, he is wondering how come you did not ask him for dakshina." Baba looked at the man. "You did not wish to give me dakshina, thus I did not ask of it from you. In fact, you found a fault in all those who sought dakshina, and you feel that those who offered dakshina were gullible themselves. Thus, keeping your ideology in mind, I did not ask anything from you. If you wish to give anything, please do so." The friend sighed in relief. He removed 17 rupees, the exact sum which Baba had asked of Kaka, and placed it with reverence at Baba's feet. Baba nodded. "Don't get up, sit calmly. There is no rush. Listen to the simple advice which I am about to tell you. You must pull down the wall of separation between you and me. Once you do that, we shall be able to meet often. Now you can leave." Baba blessed them and handed them the sacred ash. "Deva," Shama intervened. "The sky is overcast, dark clouds have gathered. They shall be soaked to the bone if they leave now. Let them stay for a while." "Shamya, let them go. Nothing shall happen. They don't have to worry about the overcast sky, the thunder, lightning, or the rain. Leave in peace." The two men bowed down at Baba's feet and left. Shama was right. The sky was truly overcast. Thunder roared and lightning flashed ominously. There was a thick mist in the air. They had to ferry across the Godavari river. The river was pregnant, and they felt that she would envelope them in a cold embrace at any moment. Kaka's friend was petrified, but Kaka was calm and peaceful. He was certain that if Baba had given them permission to set out on the return journey, all would go well. His friend was really scared and rued his decision of coming to Shirdi to meet Baba. They reached the train station, got onto the train, and a few minutes later it began to pour. They reached Mumbai, safe and sound. This newcomer wondered why Baba had sent them away so quickly. They could have stayed a day or two in Shirdi as they had formerly planned. When the friend reached his house, he opened the windows and a sparrow who was stuck in the closed room flew out in a hurry. The friend looked around and saw two sparrows who had died within due to lack of food, water, and ventilation. The friend felt saddened. If only he had kept the ventilators of the window open, the two sparrows would not have met such a sad end. Then it struck him as to why Baba was in such a hurry that they reach home. Baba wanted to save this sparrow from his impending doom. He couldn't help but feel humbled to have been given an opportunity to meet a saint who not only was concerned about their well-being, but also the well-being of a little sparrow. Yes, the destiny of the other two had been scripted in advance, but the fact that Baba rushed them back to Bombay to save a little sparrow made him fall in love with Baba. A few days later, this man realized that the heel pain which he had been suffering from had suddenly disappeared after his darshan of Sai. Slowly but steadily, his faith in Baba grew more and more. Of course, not immediately, but slowly, he came to the realization that Shakti, the primordial energy, resided in Baba Sai. Even though he still did not believe in idol worship, he concluded wholeheartedly that the ancient and original energy throbbed in Baba. Peace be to all. Baba keep us away from doubting his godhood, his presence, his love, and his compassion ever. Jai Sai.